Hello everybody, this is Andy, and welcome to episode 4 of Omnifactory. And don't worry if you don't recognize any of this stuff, because it's never been shown before. I kind of thought I was going to end this series and not continue playing Omnifactory anymore, so I just kind of played it on my own, but I don't think that's the case. So, let me get you caught up to speed. First, I made presses for applied energistics using the laser engraver, made a pyrolysis oven to make wood tar, which can be distilled into phenol, which can in turn be used to create the second tier 1 circuit boards. Then I set up the basis for an automation for pulsating polymer clay, except I still have no ender pearls. I went to the end and killed the end dragon because of that. Then I made a nice platform to make a cursed earth ender pearl farm. I finished fully automating pulsating polymer clay, spent a bunch of time AFKing to get self-aware data models and some basic resources I needed to move on, mostly because I didn't want to go mining again, and then I created this underground drawer wall to store mass amounts of items with void upgrades and an ME storage bus. And then I pretty much did everything you see here. I changed this drawer wall to 1 layer because I don't think we're going to have that many items. I put these I made some MV machines so we can get like MV speeds, and I moved a bunch of our automation from upstairs downstairs. So I'm creating obsidian here and I'm creating phenol here. Nothing has changed with the pyrolysis oven. Over here I've set up the basis for an automation for aluminum. I just need to automate clay and shove it into this thing. And right here is just an advanced mixture. So also we have these guys. You may notice what this is. This is simulation chamber. This is deep mob learning. So I'm creating diamonds here, these ingots here, another ingot here, and some of these. These are all going into their own loot fabricator to create the items. Whenever you get one, it goes into here and automatically creates that. These diamonds specifically are being sent 1 to the wall over here, and then 2, if I go up here, into these numismatic dynamos with lapidary calibration upgrades. These things produce 3,000 RF a tick maximum, and are currently sitting at about 1/5 speed. So we have some room to grow, but that is my power generation for the foreseeable future. I could probably throw 100 of these down and get a couple million RF per tick, and it'll all be good. The one other thing that I did was I changed all of the conduits for energy in my base out to these vibrant energy conduits because I just kind of assumed they would work better, because they do work better. And that's about everything that's changed. I've also noticed my sounds in-game are not working, so I'm probably going to have to restart the game. But other than that, let's get into the actual episode. First things first, I think it's time to get into an automation for polyethylene. And to do that, we're going to have to start with chemical reacting sulfur dust with water to make some sulfuric acid. And then I will need to use this with some ethanol to create... Wait, is that the correct one? I think so. With some ethanol to create ethylene, and then the ethylene will be used with air to make polyethylene, or I guess like oxygen or whatever else. But let's get that automation set up. I should be able to fully automate sulfur somehow, so that's going to be our first step. How do I get this? I use pristine blaze matter. So let's look into setting up another deep mob learning. Okay, I should have everything I need to make a loot fabricator and also one of these simulation chambers. So that's perfect. I already have a self-aware blaze data model, so what I should just be able to do is shove the simulation chamber up here, put the data model in, turn this into insert, so it'll start shoving a bunch of polymer clay in there, and it'll start simulating, except it doesn't have any energy. That's the main problem. However, before we set that up, let's put the loot fabricator down there, and I'm going to need item conduits to transport. So the way I'm handling the transport of items in this system is I'm importing all items from this into from the simulation chamber into the loot fabricator on the green channel, and everything is connected on this item conduit thing, as you can see. They're all connected. So the way I'm doing that is I'm using a filter. So what I'm going to filter in is pristine blaze model, and then pristine blaze matter, and then I will turn this to insert and turn the up one into extract. And whenever this creates a pristine blaze matter, it'll shove into here. And what I'm going to want this to create is sulfur right now. So Next step is to connect all this up and export on brown. What that's going to do is going to start pulling the sulfur out of here and sending it into the ender chest. I think, correct? Yep, there it goes. So if I go to my system over here, I should start seeing a bunch of sulfur entering it. So there we go. That is the full automation for sulfur. I'm going to need to automate a couple more blaze models or loot fabricators later on, but for now, sulfur is the only thing that I need. So what was I gonna do? Oh, I need an item frame so I can show my very cool item that is being created off. Give me one of those, and this is just how I'm knowing what I'm creating in each loot fabricator. So let's set up a chemical reactor so we can, I just lost my hammer, so we can make sulfuric acid. I am going to need water for this, so I'm going to also use ender tanks for this automation. And the way that I'm going to handle this is I'll throw one of these ender tanks down here on this line, or actually I could just put it like right there, and that should start to fill up with water. And then I can go back to where I just was. Yep, that's good. And I should be able to set up just a little basic automation thing right here. Do water right there, start shoving a bunch of water into here, and I can just get an export bus to export sulfur into this guy. And since this is going to have to be put into the side, and I think I'm going to have a machine over here anyways that is going to have to export something into it as well, I'm not going to stress out about this not looking super perfect. So what I can do, since this is connected to my ME system, is I can grab a piece of sulfur out of the ME system, and I'm getting a lot very fast. I should actually probably add that to the drawer wall so we don't fill up all our ME drives. But once I do that, it should start shoving sulfur into here and create sulfuric acid. So let me go over here, add this to the drawer wall, and it'll start getting shoved in there. I just need some upgrades and some void upgrades. And with that, I now have infinite sulfuric acid. What I should probably do is take it all out of my system and shove it in the wall. So I'm going to do that really fast so we don't fill up our drives too much. But you know, it's just the way it goes. There we go. And I think with that, it should all be in there. And let's go check on our sulfur automation. Hello, you have created 9 buckets of sulfuric acid. That's quite great. So we've automated sulfuric acid, perfect. Now we just need to automate ethylene, and that's going to require ethanol. So let's find out a way to get ethanol. Distilling wood vinegar, or fermented biomass, or biomass. So I think the easiest way to go here is biomass. So I need a bunch of brewing machines and a bunch of probably potatoes, right? Or saplings. I'll probably use my saplings actually. Let's go set that up. I'm not entirely sure if 2 of these is going to be enough. However, that's all I could make with the resources that I had like on hand right now. But let's start with it. So what I'm going to have to do is set these up, and I'm going to put these on the top because I have another line up here, and you know, it should all work out fairly comfortably, and I can just bring this line down and across the top, which is I think the way that I'm going to do it for most of it. I'm going to need 2 more export buses and 2 more of these tanks set to the water channel. And there we go. Water, send it in. Perfect. Now I just need to export bus into no, I'm just gonna make 2 normal export buses. And I made the export buses, and there we go. If I just set these both to rubber tree saplings, it'll shove rubber tree saplings in, and slowly but surely this thing will create 100 millibuckets of biomass, which is not the sickest thing in the world, but it's better than nothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a tank that these can both pump into, and then we can pump that using a fluid storage bus anywhere into our network. So I think I'm just going to do this, break that, and set up pressurized fluid conduits going underneath here. Since they won't be connected to any other line, I can use the pressurized fluid conduits instead of using something very fancy like the ender fluid conduits, which have channels. But I don't. Oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I just lost a bunch of fluid, but it's okay. Extract and go up here, and let's see how the tank is filling in. And wow, the tank's full up and all the buffers, but that's crazy. It's been like 2 minutes. Well, actually, it's been like 3 hours. I know the last clip was like right over there and I was running over here to check on the tanks. I got interrupted and then I had to go run. And now we're here and the tank is full, which means we can actually set up our next little part, which is creating ethanol using a distillery. So let's make an advanced distillery. It looks like I actually have everything I need for it, so all that I really have to do is go back up here, set a fluid storage bus that I just made onto this thing, put a cable, connect it, put the distillery here. Do I want to do this here? Yeah, I'll do this here. That's fine. And then I just need a bucket of the biomass to set the filter. Okay, there we go. 1 bucket. Put it right into the fluid export bus and it sets the filter, and it should start sending biomass here once it gets all its stuff together, right? You're on. Do I need to partition you? Wait. Oh, do I need to partition you? Hold on. Turns out that I did a dumb thing and I actually made this an interface and never turned it into the storage bus. So let's go ahead real quick, make one of these pumps if I can. I cannot. Okay, let me make this really fast and I'll be right back. There it is, the fluid storage bus. Now let's go slap it on top of this bad boy right up here, just like that. And as soon as that turns on, it should start sending stuff into here. Very perfect. And it'll get faster and faster as it goes. Last things last, a program circuit on 0 and it begins its operation. And it's fairly quick actually. I don't think this, oh nope, it just warmed itself up. It's gonna start going fast. So it's a 1 to 0.7 ratio. So we're getting ethanol just like that. And did I make another tank? I thought I made another tank. Can I get, oh no, I have one, perfect. So I can just set this to auto output with my wrench directly into here. And we should, hello, there we go. We should put a bunch of ethanol in here. Now I'm going to need a fluid storage bus, this, and then I'll pump it into a different thing to make ethylene with sulfuric acid. So now I have the last 2 chemical reactors. I can just go ahead, shove this here, and export bus onto you with a capacity card. Now I just need 2 more buckets to grab the other 2 fluids that I need to get. So give me a whole stack. And what do I need? I need this ethanol. And I need that sulfuric acid. Is that being produced in here? It is. I'm not storing this in any way, actually. That's a problem. I need another tank and to storage bus it. I think I'm just going to use this 16 bucket tank because, you know, it'll store 16 in here and another 64 in here. That should be enough of a buffer for now. If I need a bigger buffer, I can just set a black hole tank and make this thing run forever. But that's not really an issue. I just need to do this and make 2 storage or fluid storage buses. Alright, I've got the fluid storage buses made. Let me go ahead and partition. Oop, nope, not priority. Partition, and I should partition the one up here too if I can reach it. Yep. Oh, there's nothing in there. There we go. Partition. And that means it should begin exporting right here. Okay, perfect. And once there's enough, it should make me some ethylene, and it looks like some dilute sulfuric acid. And I think we can return this, 3 to 2 back into sulfuric acid, and this is definitely worth it. So let's make another distillery and set up that system. There's the distillery, and if I do this correctly, I should just be able to pump, wait, this is phenol. It's still not exporting sulfuric acid. That means I guess it does one first before it does the other. That should be fine, but I'm not quite sure. So I want to think, how am I going to set this up? And I can just break this with my hand. I don't need a wrench. This isn't GregTech New Horizons, so I'm going to set this here, and I'll do the chemical reactor there, I think. So I should just be able to pipe. I'm going to wait a second, see how this does. Okay, yes, I waited. It is weird in the fact that it waits, or it fills up ethanol first before it fills up sulfuric acid, but now that it's full on ethanol, we shouldn't have any problems with sulfuric acid. So, taking forever, this thing will create me 1 bucket of ethylene. So I'm going to use I think it's time to make some ender fluid conduits so I can use a filter. I made a bunch of this vibrant alloy stuff in the meantime, and I can just wire it up into the stuff that I need to make this. And I think I have pressurized, yeah, I have 22 pressurized. So I should just be able to throw that in there, use this, and make a bunch of these. Perfect. Now I just need a fluid filter. There it is, and I have everything to make it. And I can just come over here and set this to run into, nope, that's pressurized, into that. Okay, I'm gonna do this off camera because this is boring, but I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so here's what we've got. I'm once again going to shove all of this fluid, the ethylene, into a tank, and that should be that. So only ethylene should be allowed to go in here, and all of the other stuff will get shoved into there. Actually, you know what? I might do this differently. I might use the fluid conduits here just to make sure that no dilute sulfuric acid ever goes in there. And there's 3 in there, which will turn that 3 into 2 buckets of sulfuric acid. Wonderful, wonderful. You know, actually, coming back to this, looking at everything after I set up the filters and stuff to move everything around correctly and to like shove it into this chest when it can, I think my sulfuric acid production is going to be robust enough that I don't need to worry about recycling, at least at this moment. Maybe later, once we get into higher tiers, that might be necessary, but for now, I'm not going to stress about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shove the dilute sulfuric acid directly into a fluid trash can. And I'll put it underneath right here so we don't have to look at it very much. And I'll just put the filter for dilute sulfuric acid right there. Perfect. And now it just dies. Right? Right? Hello? I forgot to configure it to insert on the right one. So now it should. Hello? It should die. Correct? Yep, it's dead. Perfect. So now we are at ethylene, which is useful for some things. However, we need polyethylene, which I need to create oxygen for. This gives a slight boost over using just straight air. So I'm going to need an air collector or wait, what am I going to need? I think I'm just going to go the route of electrolyzing water for oxygen. It's fairly slow, but it will give me oxygen forever, and that's enough for me. So I'm going to need a MV electrolyzer, and we can get going. Okay, a little bit of crafting later. I should just be able to plug in this storage bus, partition it once again, and the oxygen should start flowing over to here. And yep, there we have the oxygen. I just need to plug this in right here, and the ethylene should also start flowing over to here. Wonderful. And then if I plug this in, I need to partition this really quickly. This will serve as my polyethylene tank. So I just need to let these build up a little bit, and then I can start creating ethylene once the buffers fill up. And a few moments later, as things are filling up, we're starting to get polyethylene, which means I can partition this. I'm going to grab a bucket of this so I can set filters later on. That's one thing I do highly recommend doing in this pack. Grab a bucket of every single fluid, just so you'll be able to set filters for whenever you may need it. So it looks like we've completed that quest. I haven't been following quests, but I think we've done a fair chunk of the stuff here. I'm going to need to make polyethylene sheets because these are used to make, I guess, the HV machine holes, which is something we'll get into soon, but also these capacitors, which is the easy recipe for these capacitors, because otherwise they're fairly expensive, and I don't want to do them that way. So let's think about what we can do next. I think what I want to do is move, I'm going to leave this up here, I think, but I want to move my blast furnaces down into the basement where they're a little closer to home, and I can set up automation for them a little bit easier. So I think right here I'm going to do a line of blast furnaces, and let's go ahead and set that up. Alright, here we go right here. I'm just going to run a wire from this wire over to this guy, and then use some conduit facades so I don't have to cover it up. Eventually I'm going to make this look prettier and cover all these wires up eventually, or in their own way, but right now this still needs to expand. I'm going to put a back area here that doubles all of this stuff. But I don't really need that right now, so I'm not going to stress about it. Now I'm going to need a long energetic alloy wire of the 16x caliber. I think what I'm going to do is set these alloy smelters up in a slightly more expensive way. However, we are pretty rich in this pack, so it doesn't really matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the full alloy smelter structure instead of sharing sides, just so if I want to make one with different coils, I don't have to replace them all with different coils, because that's kind of frustrating and annoying. And copper and nickel are fairly cheap. I have infinite copper, and I can literally just buy nickel, and yeah. So let me set these up really quickly, and then I want to pivot onto something slightly less technical. And there we go. That is long blast furnace. Input, output, and these structures are perfectly formed. One of these is going to be automated for aluminum. The other is going to be automated for energized... What is it called? Energetic silver, I think? Hold on. Oh, wow. Things are happening. Energetic alloy, and then I'll make a third one that is creating vibrant alloy, but that's a problem for later. The thing that I want to do, since I have so much of these things, almost 10,000 of them, what I can do now is essentially enchant as much as I want. And since I have kind of crappy tools and no armor, I'm going to create some really good tools and some really good armor. So let's make an enchantment table. You know, perhaps I've made a couple too many books. I don't think I really need this many. I'm pretty sure the max is 15 for these bookshelves, but wait, do we have I don't think we have apotheosis. So I think that means we are kind of chilling, doing pretty basic enchants, but yeah, that works. Let's make a nice pickaxe. Actually, I think I'm going to try my hammer out first, and it's kind of crappy. So let's try the pickaxe. Efficiency 4, Fortune 3, Auto Smelt. That's a pretty decent pickaxe. I need mending and unbreaking on that, but hey, that's good for now. That's a very crappy shovel, and that's a pretty good axe. Okay, I need a new shovel. Oh, this looks like a good one. Efficiency 4, ooh, not amazing. I don't know what insight does, but if I make an anvil, which I think is still normal recipe, right? Anvil, yep, 3 blocks of iron. I made one too many, that's alright. I should just be able to set that there and combine these guys together to get a pretty decent shovel. And I'm not going to stress out too much about that. I do want to try to get a decent hammer though. Let's see, that's the exact same hammer that I just got, and that one's just unbreaking. Okay, let's try again. Okay, same hammer I've gotten a million times. Soulbound, oh, very, very cool. And auto smelt. Still not good. I'm gonna keep trying. Ooh, Fortune 3, Efficiency 4. That's not bad. Can I get an unbreaking? That'd be very sick. Fortune 2, that's actually crap. And that's not amazing. Okay, I can put unbreaking on this manually. And with all these other pickaxes, besides this one, bye-bye. And this is the Dark Steel Enchanter. This thing is a little bit cooler than the normal enchanter. Sorry, chest, you're gonna have to go. This thing will use lapis along with something else and a book to make cool stuff. Well, actually it uses a written book, so I'm gonna have to make a couple of those. Thank you. I need to go kill a couple chickens to make more books and quills, and I literally can't find any. All there are sheep and pigs. No chickens. So many sheep, no chickens. Oh my god, this is chickens. Bye, chicken. So many chickens. Die! Die! Also, I realize my axe has sharpness, not efficiency, so that means I'm gonna have to put efficiency on it. Die! And here we go. Fancy enchanted books that give me unbreaking. I need unbreaking on 2 things, so that's enough unbreaking. Anvil, hello. And hello. Efficiency 5 is a bunch of redstone, and I can shove that onto my axe to never be used. Very, very wonderful. And here we go. Wait, do I not have enough lapis? And there we go. One more mending book, two more mending book, and if I just munch some of these bad boys, three more mending book. So now I can just go ahead and shove mending onto all of these tools. And with that, come on. And I'm slightly out of levels. Okay, perfect. What was the last one? This one. And with that, we have all of the tools that we will ever need for ever, I think. Let's test out this. Oh, wow, that's real nice. Oh, man. So I think I'm gonna have a hallway run this way. Oh, that's a nice hammer. And it has a basically effective durability of like 9,000. That's crazy, dude. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this video there. We've gotten a fair bit done. We have a bunch of stuff done that is going to become very useful in the next episode once we start auto-crafting stuff. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.